Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. I'm literally making this video from Costa Rica and it couldn't be more appropriate because I am doing a video on 10 best apps you need when going on holiday and when traveling. I think they're really simple and I think they're really basic, but some people just don't know they exist. And following on from that is my disclaimer that some people might literally be like,
oh my god, Tanvi, I literally use the app in my sleep.
But some people might not have heard of it, and I feel like this video would be really useful for people of all ages, people who might not travel loads, and I'm very fortunate enough to have traveled a lot, and I've learned along the way some of the best apps you need to use when you are traveling. So I'm gonna get straight into it. I've got 10 and they are in no particular order. I just think they'll be really, really useful. I also just need to let you guys know, if you can hear people screaming, it's because they are having a pool party outside by the bar. So I'm really sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. Hopefully it's not too off-putting in this video. A lot of these apps can be applied to like everyday life, not just traveling, but I think they are particularly useful when you're on holiday, especially in a big group. And the first app I want to talk about is Splitwise. Now, Splitwise is a genius app. It's amazing for group holidays. What it does is it essentially lets you input all your different expenses. It lets you put how much each person owes, or if it was split between 2 of you, if it was split between 4 of you. It lets you put it in different currencies. It lets you categorize. It's basically a really good app to organize money in a group, because a lot of the time someone pays for something, you pay for something. It's so hard to keep on track of all the different meals and taxis and hotels and flights that everyone pays different amounts on. So it's just an amazing way to keep track of all of that. So as long as you keep up to date with all your expenses throughout the holiday, it means that you can just enjoy the holiday and not worry about who owes who what, and at the end you can just settle it. The next app that I wanted to share is actually an iPhone app, so I'm really sorry Android users, maybe there's an Android version, but it's literally the photo app, but it's a feature within the photo app. So on iPhone, I might do a little screen recording here so you guys can see, but on iPhones you can have shared albums, which basically means you can add your own photos and videos into a shared album, which doesn't take up anyone's memory. It's just stored in iCloud and everyone has access to it. So say I took 50 photos and my friend took 20 videos and you wanted to share it without having to like WhatsApp them across or airdrop everything individually, all you need to do is just upload those pictures to a shared album. You just need Wi-Fi, it's super quick, and then each person can go through the pictures in the album and save down individually what they like, because quite often you only want to save like 2 of those 50 pictures of you. So it's really good, especially when there's lots of different people. It's really easy to collaborate when there's a shared photo album, because everyone can just dump everything in there and then you can actually download what you actually want and what will use up your memory. Right. Next is quite an obvious one, but I feel like people don't realize the extent of features that this app has, and it's Google Translate. So this is literally for anywhere that you go on holiday where you don't speak the local language, and it allows you to just pick up basic phrases or translate things. But what Google Translate lets you do is if you just open up the app and hover over the menu with your camera open, it literally will translate the menu for you there and then, like word for word, line for line. I found this so useful when traveling around Southeast Asia because they don't even have an English alphabet, and it literally lets me translate everything into English super quick. So yeah, Google Translate is fabulous for traveling. Next, again, is a really obvious one, which I'm pretty sure every single one of you will have this app already, but it's so good to use on holiday, is a Maps app. Whether it's Google Maps or City Mapper or even just a Waze, all these apps actually work globally now. They never used to, but they do now. And something like Maps is really good because it gives you the options to see how long it will take if you walk, if you drive, and even if you want to take public transport. And I find this really useful when you're in a city, so a city like Barcelona, a city like Milan, where they do have train systems, underground train systems. It's all on there. It literally tells you which stop to get, which colour line to get, just like the London Underground, and it's really easy to use. So I think it's such a good one to have. And the next one is a currency exchange app. Now I use XE Currency. I think it's really good. It gives you the latest rates, and I just think it's really sensible to always be converting rates just so that you are aware how much everything costs in your currency, which is obviously British sterling for me. When you're in a shop, when you're in a restaurant, when you're at a bar, you can quickly input how much it is to see if it's something you can afford or you want to pay for. And it just makes me think twice before buying things, because sometimes you can think because it's in dollars like it's super cheap, but actually it's not. Like the rate is not in our favor anymore. This was really useful for me when I traveled to Southeast Asia, because I honestly changed countries like every week and the currency is completely different in each country. You can add and subtract countries so easily, so especially if you're traveling to lots of different places in a short period of time, it can get really confusing to have to keep translating the foreign currency. So if you just have an app to do it, I think it's super helpful. Speaking of foreign currency, the next app I want to talk about is Monzo, or any international banking app that works in your favor, that uses the latest rates and doesn't have any additional charges. Now, what a lot of people don't know is sometimes when you use like Apple Pay on like a credit card abroad, there is an additional charge to convert the currency. So one thing, always get a Monzo or a Revolut or something like that where there are no additional charges. So easy to use. You can download the app and you can also get the physical card. You can put it on your Apple Wallet and it's so simple. Monzo is one that I use. I think it's really good because it categorizes all the money I spend into like food, transport, leisure, and it lets me see, especially when I'm on holiday, like how much money I've spent. It's also great because you can actually freeze the Monzo card when you're not using it, so when you're not traveling, but also there are no additional charges. The other thing that's really important to note is when you are paying with a credit card, if you are, they always ask you whether you want to pay in like local currency or a different currency, so like GBP, and then they translate it over. Always pay in the local currency. It's always cheaper and it always gives you a better exchange rate. I feel like not a lot of people know that. Always click the local currency. So if I'm in Costa Rica right now, I always pick to pay in colones, which is the Costa Rican currency. Next is like a local taxi app, and most countries do have Uber. Some of the European countries, they are banned because Uber were charging excessive prices and not paying their drivers, but a lot of the time they actually do have local taxi apps. So I would definitely recommend looking into that before you get to the country and downloading the app that works. Not even in that country, but sometimes cities. We found this in Ibiza especially, where there is like a shortage of taxis for some weird reason. There are specific taxi apps which you can use in like different cities in Spain, which are relevant for that city, and they're really easy to use and often a lot cheaper than getting Uber. So yeah, just have a quick Google before you go out somewhere, like what is the best local taxi app to use. There's like different ones I know in India, in Thailand, even in the UK, like Bolt is often cheaper than Uber. So just do a little bit of research. You can save a lot of money and a lot of hassle when booking taxis out in a foreign country. Next, I want to talk about food and activities, and the best app for this 100% hands down is TripAdvisor. If you're not using TripAdvisor to plan holidays, like, have you been living under a rock? I don't know, but TripAdvisor is fantastic for looking at things to do in areas, restaurants, bars. It's really good for me, especially because I'm vegetarian. You can add a filter on restaurants that are vegetarian friendly. And speaking of vegetarian friendly, there's also Happy Cow, which is an app I wanted to throw in there for food recommendations purely for vegetarian restaurants. So yeah, Happy Cow is also really good, but TripAdvisor is like the OG travel app. Also great for reviews if you're looking at hotels and restaurants as well. Always read the TripAdvisor reviews because they're always very honest. I'm really sorry that the light is changing here, but it's like getting to golden hour. Okay, the last couple of ones which I think are really, really good for like planning the holiday and like logistics and admin when you're actually traveling, not really when you get there. First is Skyscanner. I book all my flights through Skyscanner most of the time. I feel like they just give you the best rates and it's just the easiest to use. Skyscanner, you literally put in the destination you want to fly from, where you want to fly to, put in your date, number of travelers, and it's easy as that. You can also filter for if you want a direct flight, one stop, the exact times you want to have your outbound and inbound flights. I just find it really easy to use. It can then direct you to like flight companies or other websites where it's cheapest, like it does a price comparison, so it's really good. And then also I personally like to use either booking.com or Expedia when booking hotels. I think they give like the most choice, they give good reviews, they give good pictures and descriptions as well. Booking.com is a personal favorite because you can also book flight and hotel as a package. But other apps and other websites, I would say lastminute.com, Jet2, I've not had a couple of good experiences, so I really like to stick to booking.com or Expedia for booking my holidays. Last but not least is like really simple, but I feel like a lot of people don't do it, is downloading the Airline apps. This is so useful because one, you can get your boarding pass on your Apple Wallet, and especially now that we need to always present like COVID documentation, the NHS apps, like whatever it is, and you just have it all on your wallet. It's so useful. So I always like to have my boarding pass on my wallet so I can just scan it like that. But also it's so good because it tells you what gate you need to go to, what terminal you need to be in. It also gives you live updates if your flights are delayed or if like the gate changes last minute, rather than having to like find those screens in the airport. I just find it so good to have everything on your phone. Again, you guys might literally use all of those apps already, or even better, you might use apps that I don't even know exist, so please pop them in the comments below if you do. but I just feel like all of those make my holidays so much easier, so much more seamless. It means I can enjoy my holiday and it be stress-free. I hope this video was really helpful. Again, like I said, if you liked it, if you found it useful, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any other travel apps that you want to recommend, then yeah, pop them below. I feel like it would be really helpful for me and everyone else watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Lots of love. Bye.